Hey my loves! So it's really weird to be talking to you guys, even weirder to be talking to my iPhone, but it's actually 4 a.m. in New York City. I have been in California primarily the last couple of weeks, so it feels like a very big time shift for me. I've not been able to sleep very well lately. And I filmed my first video in a really long time today. I'm so sorry that the uploads have been so sparse lately, but I thought I would do another paranormal story time, and I will not be doing videos on my iPhone regularly. This is just because things have been crazy lately, and I will totally explain why I've been traveling so much, hopefully really soon. It's been really fun, and if you follow my vlog channel, you'll be seeing some follow me around vlogs from all the places I've been going. But today, I thought we would have a little bit of a slumber party and just hang out, and I could tell you guys some more ghost stories. There will be more non-storytime videos coming up, especially in the next week. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for those of you who don't like storytime videos, but I know so many of you do, and I love them too, and everyone's favorites seem to be these paranormal story times, and I have them for days. So I'm just gonna get into it. These are all going to be coming from this house that I grew up in. Now, this house was in the middle of nowhere in Georgia, and it was actually like really close to, I forget exactly what it was. I think it was like either an abandoned like gold mine or something like that. Like some sort of mine system was either near the house or underneath the house. All I know is it was that, and then there was also an Indian burial ground that was built on top of, and this house was so haunted, and luckily I got to grow up in it. There were so many weird things about this place. Like, there was this underground, not underground, but it was like beneath the house room that was unfinished, and it was so creepy. Like, it was this little door outside, and just inside of the room was dirt. There was no floor, no anything like that. It was just dirt, like flat dirt. And I remember seeing that initially and asking my parents, like, what is that? And they never gave me a straight answer. It was completely holed off from the rest of the house. It was out back. It wasn't like a garage or even a shed or anything. I think what it was like an unfinished shed, really. But it was like attached to the house, and it was unfinished. There were no lights, no walls, no anything. There was this step system in the dirt room that, okay, so like the room is like this, and then off in the right corner there were these dirt steps that went down, and they were obviously not like perfectly made dirt steps like you would see in a house out of non-dirt material, but they were like really lumpy and creepy. And I remember my parents just always telling me never to go in that room, like it wasn't safe in there. They wouldn't go in there. 99% of the time the door actually stayed locked because like my brother and I were crazy and we totally wanted to go in there. But one day I know it was unlocked for whatever reason, and my brother and I decided to go in and like explore. We wanted to see what the room was about. And we went in with flashlights and stuff. And I remember we were walking towards the steps, and we were just gonna peek down and see like how far they went down, because there was no way like they went down super far. We just wanted to know why they were there. So we go over there, and we hear the door close behind us. And when I tell you, I had never screamed so loud in my entire life. Like, it was the scariest thing. And I don't think the wind was strong enough to like pull it that day, but maybe it was the wind. Regardless, we were in this dark room. We just had flashlights. We're like, oh my god, he was so young. I was a horrible sister for dragging him into this. I know I was probably like maybe 12, 13, which would have made him like 9, maybe 10. So I was a horrible sister. When the door closed, we had our flashlight, so we were scared, but it wasn't like we were trapped in the dark or anything like that. So we go over, like we open up the door, and as we're leaving, my brother never really believed in ghosts or anything like that, so I feel like he wasn't lying. I heard a noise coming from that right-hand corner of the room where like the dirt steps were. I don't know what it was. It was like a tapping sound or like a clicking or maybe like footsteps almost, but it wouldn't have made sense. Again, we never went back in there. I still don't know what those dirt steps were leading to or anything like that. And again, I don't think that they went down very far, but I can never know for sure. We got out of there though, and once we were outside, I was like, did you hear a noise in there? And he said that he had, and we never told my parents we went in there because they would have been so angry. It definitely could have been an animal of some sort. Like, I'm not ruling that out. I'm not saying it's necessarily paranormal. It's just really scary. And that entire thing, like a dirt room without lights, with dirt stairs leading to nowhere. Like, it was so weird. So that was one, and that dirt room always freaked me out. I never really went in there. I seriously could count on one hand the amount of times I even dared to go down there. There was also this time, and I've talked about my bedroom in particular being super haunted in other videos, and I told this story about my friend Katie and I when we were having a slumber party one night. And for any of you who have not seen that video, it's like a year, oh my god, not even, it's like 3 years old now or something ridiculous like that. We were having a slumber party in my room, and whatever was in my house really liked to play with like lights, I noticed, and like toys and weird things like that. Just, it was very, very playful at first. I had this little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer doll that my dad had given me. When you pressed Rudolph's ear, he would sing songs, and it wasn't motion censored. It was only when you pressed his ear. I'd had this doll for so long, and this was in the middle of summer, I think, but I still had the doll out because I loved, I don't know, it was just really special to me. So Katie and I have a slumber party. We have an amazing time. It's so fun, and we decided to go to bed, and I know we went to bed pretty late that night, but nothing weird had happened so far. I will say whatever was in my house did not like visitors. This was one of many experiences that I had with friends of mine who had weird stuff happen while they were there. Whatever was there was very active when we had visitors or guests or anything. It felt like someone like touched my shoulder and kind of like shook it. And again, I'm like asleep, but whatever touches me wakes me up. I look over and Katie's still asleep, and I don't know what's woken me up. It's like my bed's pressed against the wall, I'm against the wall, and Katie's right in front of me. And I'm just like, what the heck? And I'm trying to figure out what could have woken me up. Suddenly, there is a red flashing light in front of my face, and the Rudolph the Red-Nosed, oh, I have chills. I hate this story, although it's really interesting. The Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer doll starts lighting up and singing one of its songs, but it's not where I had left it the night before. It's not like over on my like nightstand on the other end of the bed, which is where I always had it. It's directly in front of the bed, like on the floor, facing Katie. And this doll had never gone off before. Again, it wasn't motion censored, it wasn't broken, nothing like that. It never did this again either, although I will say it was no longer in my room after this. I was so scared of it. But in the middle of the night, it somehow traveled across the room and then started singing when no one had touched it. I know Katie couldn't have done it. She was dead asleep. I didn't do it. I was pressed against the wall. My door was locked because my little brother had been bothering us the night before, so we decided to lock the door so he couldn't come in. I don't know any explanation. And to this day, that is one of my scariest paranormal experiences because I can't explain it away. There is no way that doll made it from my nightstand to the floor. And even if it somehow magically did that, no one touched the doll's ear, like the little Rudolph's ear. So that was one of the scariest things that ever happened. But whatever was in our house was obsessed with flashing lights, I think. I used to have these like motion censored hoodies way back in the day, and I don't know how long these were cool or if they were ever cool. I got mine from freaking Walmart, like I think around Halloween time or something like that. And I had these motion censored hoodies in my closet, and they never, like, again, it was one of those things where they would go off when you walk. It's the same thing as like your motion censored shoes, the same sort of concept. And my closet had a lot of activity in it, which sounds terrifying, and trust me, it is. But I remember one night laying in bed and I wasn't able to fall asleep for whatever reason. And I saw one of the, like, okay, so one hoodie's hung up here, one hoodie's hung up the other end of the closet. And I saw one hoodie light up, and then I saw the other hoodie light up. And then one hoodie light up, and then the other. And when I tell you they're on opposite ends of the closet, they're like completely spaced out from each other, like at least 2 or 3 feet. No animals were allowed in my bedroom at the time, so none of our cats were allowed in the bedrooms. Our dogs actually slept outside at the time. And so there's no animal in my room. And I was too scared to get up and check for sure, but like the next day I looked in the closet and there was no cat or anything like that. Nothing was in my room. But these hoodies kept lighting up, and it was like a rhythm. And it was like one would light up, the other one would light up. One would light up, the other one would light up. And what I realized was it was almost like someone was pacing back and forth in the closet. It took serious like motion to get these things to light up. They were motion censored hoodies. It wasn't like a breeze would hit them and suddenly they would light up. It was like when I walked, they would light up. They took force. It was so strange. And I never figured out what that was, but again, that's one that I cannot explain away because it was one of the creepiest things ever. And actually after that night, only one of the hoodies did this, but one of them never lit up again. And then the other one still worked. But there was a lot of weird stuff in that closet, like I said. One time, I cleaned out the entire thing, and so many unexplainable things happened to me in that bedroom. Like, there was a time I was totally attacked. That can be a whole other video. Like, I was literally attacked by something and I can't explain it. Like, I had objects like thrown at me and no one was in the room. It was really bizarre. But one of the less menacing things was I cleaned my entire closet. I had been organizing it all day, and I had a lot of stuffed animals on like the upper layers of my closet. It was like there were the racks where you hung the clothes, and there were shelves on top where you could like put stuff, and it was a really nice walk-in closet. I do remember that being like one of the best things about this house. And I cleaned the entire thing, and there were these stuffed animals in the top of the closet, and I left to go to the bathroom, and I come back into my room, and several pieces of clothing have been basically thrown off of the rack, still on the hanger. Literally, like, someone had grabbed handfuls of them and just thrown them all over the place. The toys, like the little stuffed animals that I had on top of the shelves, were also, it was like someone took their arm and just shoved them on the floor. It was like someone literally scooped behind and pushed. And I don't think this could have been anyone. Like, my parents wouldn't have done this for any particular reason. My little brother was too short to like reach all the way up there. Okay, he could have gotten like the racks or the like clothes off the racks and thrown those on the floor, but he was way too short to actually grab the like stuffed animals and just push them like that. That was one of many, 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 many strange things that happened in that closet and weird occurrences related to it. But that one was horrible because I didn't even know what to do with myself. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know why my clothes were all over the floor. But like I said, like with the pacing, with the light up little hoodie things, then the mess in my closet right after I cleaned it with no explanation, it was really, really bizarre. Like I said, my friends always had bad experiences with this, and some were kind of picked on by it a lot more than others. My friend Sammy, she was one of those people who we always hung out at her house. It was just one of those things where her house was like the place to go. I have so many stories with Sammy I would need her permission to tell that are so funny. So stupid, but so funny. And one day she was over and she was taking a shower, and I remember she came out of the shower and she was like, whatever creepy humming crap you were doing right outside the door, like, don't do it again. That was really scary. I know you think you're being funny. Like, she was genuinely mad at me. And I was like, Sammy, I didn't hum near the door. I wouldn't do that. That's so weird. And I was in my bedroom, like on my computer or something on my bed. So I would have seen if someone had gone to the door and just hummed right outside. And I'd never heard anyone say this before. And I was like, are you sure it was a humming? Are you sure you just weren't hearing something else? You know, like whatever. There were no TVs or anything on in the house. And she kind of like recreated it. And of course it's been like 10 years. So I can't really recreate the noise for you now. Like, I have no clue what it would have sounded like, but it was like a song. It was like she heard a song, and she said it sounded just like someone was humming right outside the door. And I kept telling her it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. She never believed me. I don't think she believed me until several years later. One time, I was actually, this is another weird thing about the closet. I got into the closet again to kind of like clean up or whatever, and another friend of mine that we're going to call Carol was hanging out. And Carol really, again, she didn't really come to my house. Not a lot of my friends came to my house. My parents were strict and no one really liked hanging out with them, TBH. So I always went to other people's houses. But Carol and I are chilling, and she never had good vibes at my place. Carol was really, really, really sensitive to spirits and could like see ghosts and stuff like that. And for the longest time, I never believed her, but like the weirdest crap would happen at her house too. So it wasn't like I was free from it anywhere, but whatever it was, didn't like her the most. So many weird things would happen. One of the weirder ones, she was on my bed. I was hanging up something in the closet. And I remember we were just talking and hanging out and stuff, and my TV was on. The minute that I walked into the closet, there was no remote laying around. I don't even think I had a remote for this TV. The TV starts changing the volume all the way up, all the way down. The channels start changing all the way up, all the way down. But it's not just the TV. It's also the cable box. It's also my DVD player suddenly switching on and off. And before anyone like claims power surge or something like that, I mean, that's possible for sure. Someone once told me like it could be an electrical outlet like problem. The issue that I have with this is that nothing else in my room was doing it. And there was also a lamp plugged into the same socket that like the DVD player, like one of the electronics was plugged into an opposite socket, and there was something else that was plugged into that was not malfunctioning. It was just the DVD player. the cable box and the TV. And the settings are just going insane. And I'm like so freaked out. I'm pressing the button, trying to get it off. Like Carol is just like sitting there floored because it was like clockwork. The minute I stepped into that closet, the TV started going insane. The TV won't turn off. I literally have to unplug absolutely everything. Never unplug that lamp. The lamp never did anything. When I plugged everything back in, it was all fine, but the TV from then on out, it was this little teensy tiny little box TV, like a little tiny cube. It was, oh my God, so small. Like, I don't even know how big, but just tiny. It kept playing subtitles from then on, but the subtitles made no sense. It was like words, but the words weren't actually what the people were saying. And it wasn't just like YouTube subtitles or something where it's like a little bit off or kind of funny. They had nothing to do with anything the show had on. And the TV was never, you couldn't get them off. It was never the same after that. And it was so, so, so bizarre. And like, I mean, when I tell you we tried everything, we wound up having to throw it away because like, it was so distracting to be watching, you know, your favorite show and like have these subtitles that make no sense and you can't get them off the screen. It's actually getting really late, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video now. I just ordered some Postmates and I got a veggie burger and some sweet, you know what? I'll show you guys. I'll show you dinner. I mean, 4 a.m. dinner, but dinner nonetheless. It is just like this little veggie burger wrap and some sweet potato fries. It's from the Hollywood Diner in New York and it's actually really good. So I love you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this right now so I can put it up tomorrow. And I just wanted to say I miss you guys. I love you guys. I do wanna say I'm doing great. I am working my ass off right now, but at the same time, I'm really excited to get back to making videos for you guys. I feel like it's been a while since we kind of had a routine and you guys are like my home, so I feel very homesick for sure. So I love you guys so much. I will see you in the next video. Thank you again for watching. If you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you've not already. I love you guys and I will see you so soon in my next video.